Welcome to Sports Close-Up. Mike Fiorillo, special co-host for this show, Luke Ruot. Luke, thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for inviting me.
And by the way, if you haven't seen Luke's show in the morning drill, you're missing something, so catch it out here on Armstrong. Today's show, Titusville football, here with the head coach, Bryan Baldwin. And Coach Baldwin, thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And let's get right to it. Read up on your biography a little bit. Titusville product?
Yes, yep. I graduated in 1993. Played everything here. I've been here my whole life.
You also was an outstanding wrestler for Titusville, if I'm not mistaken.
I was okay. I was pretty good. I was all right.
I did a little better than okay. Then you went to Mercyhurst College?
Yes.
For a couple of years and played football there?
Yep. Under Joe Kimball was his first years there.
Yep. Did he replace Tony DeMeo, or was it?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure how that worked there.
Okay, and you played under a legend here in Titusville, right?
Yeah.
Bucky Crab.
Buck Crab. Yep. He's absolutely one of my mentors. One of the guys that I drew a lot from, not only in football wise, but in my life too. So.
And that's good to hear, because I think coaches have a big impact on kids, and sometimes kids don't realize that.
Yes, and Coach Liberty was a big impact on me. It's probably why I have a goatee. Today, that's everybody wanted that goatee. So
that's interesting, because you and I were just talking off the air that a couple of weeks you will be playing against his son's team down in Fairview, Nate Liberty, who was at Cochran for a few years, stayed out for a year, and then now he's back with Fairview. So you'll be going against his son. So goes the whole circle.
Goes, full circle. The world's a small place.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun.
We also have Sam Mowry at Grove City, who's the coach.
Great.
Yes. Yep. And it's always
he's
fun.
done a great job down there.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
Them guys, and they're strong this year.
Oh yeah.
They're strong every year. So,
right.
Yeah.
And they just reload.
Yeah, they do. Yep.
We're talking here down at Carter Field, which has a lot of history, and looking back there, you can see one of the few stadiums that has fans in the end zone.
Yeah. And
you think that's a good thing? You like it?
I do. We feed off it. I talk to our team all the time about everybody has their role and doing their job. Well, the student body and the community, they play a role too, and it's awesome when this place gets rocking. It's a fun place to play.
And playing off that too, Coach, explain a little bit how you now enter the stadium. Before it was coming up and down the steps.
We were talking about, I remember coaching here back with Meadville many years ago. We used to walk down on that right side, looking this way to be the right side, left side looking that way. Titusville would come down the other side through crowds.
Well, now that the visiting team is down here, another one of my mentors is the great Hayden Fry from Iowa. I'm a big Iowa Hawkeye fan. And he was all into that sports psychology. Like their visiting room or locker room is all painted pink from everything's pink. You know what I mean? So I got to thinking, it would be great to come out that backside, locked arms as one team, come down off the hill as the other team's standing there watching us come down. And the kids feed off it, and the fans have fed off it. And
is the band playing when you're doing it?
The band's playing.
Nice.
They're coming right out from the corner, and it's almost like a college atmosphere when we get going with it. So it's been fun. It's been cool.
And again, this is your first year as the head coach.
Yep.
Defense coordinator for a few years before that.
Yep. 4 years under Tom Hancock, running the defense. Had some good teams and stuff. Yep.
What made you want to become the head coach?
Oh, wow! Coaching this is my life. Coaching is my life. I also coach middle school wrestling and varsity track.
Okay.
So my kids are growing up. My youngest is a senior this year, and so I have a lot of time. My wife is very good that way. You know what I mean? She's very
so what
good.
you're saying is your wife wants you out of the house?
That's what. Yeah, she probably say that. Yeah.
Look, I can relate to that. But anyway, what do you like about coaching young people?
Oh, just to get them to work together for one common goal, to be part of something bigger than yourself, something special, and then when it comes to fruition on the field and see them light up and just they're having so much fun, that is the best feeling in the world. So,
I got two questions for you. One is that team aspect, because you talked about that, I think, week one with us in a pregame show. Kind of talk about how you talk to the kids about setting up that team mentality instead of the individual.
Well, and it's tough in today's world where you see a lot of the professional athletes are all me, and stuff like that. But I preach, if you have to be as one. You have to want it better, want it more for the guy next to you, for the brothers on the team, than you do for yourself. Because that's, I mean, when you get that, then it's a special thing and you can really go places, you know what I mean? I say it all the time. I've told it to the team a couple times. 2016, we had a heck of a year. I mean, it was a great year. But, and maybe I'm biased, but this team here, I would take this team over that team. I mean, that team, we had a lot of athletes and stuff. This team has gelled and come together, and it's a very special thing. It just is.
It's interesting you said that, because your first year as head coach, last year at Titusville Rocket, as many people did not win a game.
No, right.
It was a long season. When did you get the head job?
I think February is when I knew about it.
So when did you start talking to these kids to try to change their, become more optimistic about Titusville football again? Because when you go through a losing season, and a lot of the kids are coming back, some of them might have said, I don't even know if I want to play.
Right. Right away, I jumped on it. I had a team meeting for anybody that was interested, and we had a good turnout to that. And then I just, I'm very energetic, and I preach togetherness and everything. And then the next team meeting I had, where to see who was going to come out and stuff, there was more numbers, and it just seemed to grow and snowball. And we started the year with 52. We still have 50 kids on the team.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love it.
Did you bring in new assistant coaches too? Or did you keep some, or how'd that work?
Most of them. I brought up Jeremy O'Toole was at the middle school last year, and he's running the defense. He's a good, young, energetic coach, and he knows what he's doing. Cody Dolby, he came to us last year. He's from Clarion. He's a defensive mind. He's an energetic coach. Ryan Wolfkill was with us last couple years. And we're all energetic. And then Kurt Letterberg was with us last couple years too. So some together, and then I brought up, we stayed in-house basically. So yeah.
Did you pick up the phone and call Coach Crabb just to say, hey Coach, guess what?
I did not. I did not. I mean, I would I made sure that, and it's not only like football coaches, but, like Charlie Heller had a big part of me as a kid, as a teenager coming up through.
Formerly the superintendent of Crawford Central, and me from Cochran.
Right. Yep. And he was my wrestling coach, and he taught me a lot about. I would say I was an average wrestler. That he pushed me and worked hard. You know what I mean? And he elevated my game. Derek Rapp, a guy that actually coached me in 1 year in middle school wrestling, but I've been coaching with for a long time. He's taught me so much about how to deal with kids. There's a whole another aspect of coaching that people don't get to see. They just think that you go and you instruct and this and that, but there's way more to it.
So
go ahead.
I was going to say, with that in your mind, when you took this job, did you think, wow, I can have an impact from not just the varsity level, but all the way down?
Yes.
And that's something I want to start building?
Absolutely. I would, I hope that the way I conduct myself and the things that I do and what I bring on this team, that my assistant coaches take from that and helps them grow as I take from them, and down to the middle school coaches do a great job. And I hope that I give them something that helps them grow as I take from them too, all the way down. Yes. Yeah.
When you look back when you were here, is there any difference today, like when Bucky coached? We talked about the other coaches in the area, when you had that great rivalry going. You had Toby Shea and Warren, Larry McNulty and Ken Achenbach in Meadville. You had really good coaches, Bob Stone in Greenville. Has it changed, though, how coaches have to coach today, or do you feel it hasn't changed much?
With the athletes, for sure. I mean, everybody would like to go back to where, we're doing 3 days and we're hammering them and you're just going, and it's a whole different athlete. It's you kind of almost, you get into those 2-hour practices, you lose their attention sometimes. So you got to get creative and get your work in a short amount of time nowadays. The other thing is with the heat hack and stuff, I won't put anything on video games and stuff, but when we were younger, we were outside all the time, so we didn't need a heat hack and stuff. We just got to it. Whereas nowadays they are more inside, more computer oriented stuff. And the other thing I find that the football knowledge in the kids. A lot of kids don't sit down and watch football games. That's what we did.
They don't have an IQ. Well, football IQ is lacking, correct?
Sure. So you have to teach things that you think are just, normal. Everybody knows it's football. You have to teach that to these guys over and over again, and then they pick it up.
Like down the distance. Sometimes, then they realize that it's 3rd and 3 for the other team. Right. They might change their snap count, try to draw you outside. They're not even realizing that.
Sure, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's, and just like, let's say defensive line, you can't play every down like it's 3rd and 12.
Right.
So, but you have to teach them that. They don't just know that. You know what I'm saying?
But how many times in the booth, Mike, does the word fundamental come out?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
One of the things back in the day when we coached, one of the phrases we use for our defensive line is your eyes over your ears.
Yes.
Don't even worry what the quarterback's saying. You key that football, and then you go to your spot you're trained to do.
Absolutely.
But today the kids need that repetition. You're right, Coach, and it's good you see that. The other thing, though, is has it changed with parents? Do you feel like there's a lot of coaches up in the stands today?
Personally, I don't hear them.
Yeah.
And
that's a good thing.
Yeah. And that's, I listen to the parents.
Sure.
And some want to talk football, some don't want to talk football at all. Personally, I'll give them the time to listen to.
Right.
What I take is what I take in.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't take anything to heart. So whatever they say, they can say. It doesn't bother me, and I haven't had any issues with a parent at all. They've been great.
Which is why Steve Bodemer can interview him week after week.
That's right, exactly.
Yes.
And I'm trying to think, like, you had 52 kids, you still have 50, so what are you doing to keep the kids here, because you're doing it well?
Well, just, I think we make practice, fun. You want to say fun, but we keep it energetic. We keep it positive. I don't want any... Especially coming off of an 0-10 season,
right?
It can get easy for the kids to do that. Oh, here we go again mentality. Right. And if we're positive, if we're energetic, if we're upbeat, then they're going to feed off that, and they're going to be positive and upbeat.
So how big was the win at Sagertown then, coming off a season?
Oh, that was huge. That was huge. Going on the road too, before school started. The kids prepared and. Everybody has questions, even though we were focused all summer and doing things, and we were pretty confident. There's still questions there. So when it comes out and you see it start rolling and you see the kids gaining confidence, was very good. And, the Cockerton game was just, it was a tough game.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't overlook them. We're not overlooking anybody.
Right.
Going 0-10 last year.
Yeah.
You can't afford to
that's right.
overlook anybody. But that was a fun game. Yeah. It ended up.
It was a well-executed game.
Yeah. Yes. And the tackling. That's one thing that we've been kind of 1 week we're hammering, we're good and sound, and then we kind of lax a little bit. Northeast, both those those running backs are tough. That Con kid and number 12, they were very good running backs. They were legit guys, and they run us over. We didn't tackle very well in that game, but like you said, and then we come out in Cockerton and we executed very well. It was great to get that back, get it going again.
Are you guys part of the Meadville Titusville Medical Center, where you guys have a trainer at your games?
Yeah, we have the.
How great is that? Because back when I coached and you played,
yes.
When I coached and you played, it was like, what day is it? Friday. Okay, good. Get back out there.
Rub some dirt on.
Yeah,
get back in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, he was great. He was, he come up to the Corey game for an away game, and I was talking to him and stuff, and it is very good to have. I don't even worry about that.
Right.
They go to Kyle's a great trainer, and then they go with the Dvorkin, and what they say, I totally trust him.
He's worked on Ravens players when he was in Baltimore.
Yeah,
so
he
knows what he's doing.
It's a great thing. It is a great thing.
But you talk about the small town stuff. He lives across the street from me. So Saturday he's out riding his bike, or Sunday, and he stops and he's like, "Boy, that game Saturday. I was glad I was there. I had to leave early, but and just picked up the conversation.
Well,
he's enjoying it.
That's good.
And Luke and I have talked about this. Something about Pennsylvania, Western Pennsylvania, Friday night lights.
Yep.
The communities, they live for football.
Oh, yeah.
And they come to the stadiums, and they're all about their local teams.
Yep.
You haven't heard anything, and that's good, but I know, I do the Meadville games, and I've heard we've had 8 million great coaches in the stands over the years. I always laugh about that, being a former coach, because You're not at practice. You don't know your personnel.
Right.
Things change from week to week. As you know, Coach, a kid could have a fight with his girlfriend, come to practice. He's not even there mentally.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and that's the thing that people don't see is you have, like, I have 50 different attitudes to see, you know, I mean, kids are here and there and just on what's going on in their day and stuff, or at home or whatever.
I have 2 teenagers at home and I can't figure them out yet. So
yeah.
So when you won those games, isn't it a natural high for a coach, though, when your team's gone and you're on your way home or you're home and you're saying, man, you know, the smiles on their faces what makes you feel good,
Absolutely. Right? And I tell you, just being able to coach here at Titusville, my alma mater, there's the history on this field. You know, even as a defensive coordinator, when the season was over and everything's packed away, and I come down here and I'm the only one, I'm standing on a field, looking back, and you know, I am so blessed to be here in this position.
So obviously you're home.
Yep.
And 47 years old?
I'm 43.
43, younger than that. Excuse me.
October.
43.
Yeah.
Man, you weren't even born when I started coaching. Right? All right, you're 43. Titusville, you know, it's been a while since I had a coach for a long time. Plan on being here 15 years, maybe?
Absolutely.
That's a good thing. And I think that helps build continuity. And Luke was bringing about the little system, you know, your little kids. So if you're here, you're building a program from the bottom up. You're telling your middle schools, this is what I want run, you know, as far as, and you're going to be part of that, right? You're there accessible to those young coaches.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. And you know.
So what's your goal is what, to bring championship here someday?
Oh, that would be great. Right now we're focused on, you know, winning the region, playoff games. Being competitive. You know, and everybody wants to say, oh, yeah, you set these high goals and stuff. Well, we do set the bar high, but we're also realistic.
Sure, you got to be.
So, you know, just being in games like an 8-6 game against Corey, you know, no one likes to lose at all, but it's a step forward. I mean, the defense played great. You know, I mean, just being competitive is awesome. But our goals are to be a perennial playoff team and rise back up again.
I don't know if you want me to say this, but one of the comments you made to us was you would rather make sure that the fundamentals are there and that they're learning so you can start to build that than it is coming out and winning game after game.
Oh, yeah. You can see it, and you can see it, you know, from the lower levels too. We are, you know, when I first got this job, the youth football, they're like, well, we need a playbook. And I'm like, well, teach them how to block, teach them how to tackle, teach them how to run a pass,
teach them how to call for what I
teach them how to line up, you know, what a flanker is, what a tight end is. You know what I mean? Teach them those fundamentals. And then because in high school football, you got to be able to adapt from year to year. I mean, this year we got some hosses on the line, and Parker Harvey's a heck of a running back. They're seniors. Right. So, you know, next year we got speed, and you got to be able to adapt. Absolutely.
And you bring up a good point, too, because I know sometimes people get locked in, that 7th and 8th grade team went undefeated. They're going to be great when they're seniors. That doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't mean how much you win. It's, like you said, it's teaching the fundamentals. Right. JV, teaching the fundamentals. Varsity, you want to win. Yes. But you got to teach the fundamentals so when they come to you, you have a basis of how to improve their fundamentals.
Right. And, you know, like you said, winning isn't everything. Right. Because you just got to keep working. So.
And you said something interesting to start this interview. Look, I find this very interesting. What you're saying is your attitude of your team is better than 2 years ago when you guys won a lot of games.
I feel that, yes. And
that's very interesting. So you're building up where kids, they care for their brother next to them, right? They want to block for that running back because they care, you know, they're buddies.
Right. And no, you know, absolutely no disrespect to the 2016 team.
No.
Or, you know, Coach Hancock is a best friend of mine. Yeah. And we talk all the time. You know, So there's no disrespect there. Right. To any of the kids either. You know, Brady Corkland, great kid.
Oh, yeah.
You know, great kid, great competitor, great athlete. But that team had athletes that made up for it. Right. You know what I mean? And we're trying to build a culture, you know, and it's in the whole school too. I tell these guys, just told them yesterday, you know, we're changing the culture, building the culture in football, But when football's over, I want you to take that and be that leader in basketball, wrestling, make the difference, make the change. Someone has to, you know what I mean? Because, or it just keeps going downhill, and that's not what we want.
Do you think wrestling is a great sport for a lineman?
Oh, yeah, heck yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you want your lineman to wrestle, right?
Move their feet.
Your backs and receivers off a track.
Yep, hand fighting, it teaches the hands, good feet. Yeah, absolutely. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, Meadville's day, when the football programs were real good and the wrestling was good. You know, Dick Lumley and the football coach worked hand in hand. A lot of our linemen went and wrestled for Dick Lumley at Meadville, and like yourself, they were good in both sports. Yeah. Because in football, the linemen don't get a lot of pub. So they have to go wrestle to get the pub. People see him on the mat.
That's it, yeah. Now, that's what people are like, oh, giving out helmet stickers and stuff, for 100-yard rushers and 100-yard receivers. Well, our linemen get it for 100-yard, they get it from us too. But they know it's almost a thankless job. You got guys, people in the stands, they know. Yeah. The real football people
and the backs know.
In the backs know.
I don't care how good you are. And, we had Jeremy Brown a couple of years ago, fantastic back, and he always gave credit to his line. He said, if they didn't block me, I wouldn't have all this.
Well, then you look at James Conner scored his first touchdown. What did he do? He went right over to his line. Yeah. And you can't win a football game by yourself. You can't. And that's the one thing that we did from the get-go, too, is teaching responsibility. And I had them we got shorts and T-shirts and stuff, and they all wore a gold T-shirt on one day and gray T-shirt. And, my own son's like, Dad, why do you care what we wear? And I was like, well, if you can't dress for the team, how are you going to play for the team? Yep. So, and he's like, I get it. You know what I mean?
What you're teaching these young people, so interesting, because you're teaching them lifelong lessons.
Right, absolutely.
So no matter what they do, they'll be able to survive and be successful, and that's what you really want to do.
Sure. And I just talking to the team meeting yesterday at Films, I told them, listen, you have your whole life where you can sit around and talk about what you could have done this and could have done that. I said, right now, you got to make it so those are what you did do. So, and that's that. Instead of sitting around saying I could have done it, you'd be, I did do this. Look what we did. We did this. Yeah. And that's what, right now, you got to take advantage of it.
Corey, one of those moments?
Yeah. Yep.
Tough loss.
Oh, it was. It was, and
sometimes you learn from losing. You don't want to lose all the time.
Absolutely.
Don't get me wrong, but if you learn from it, you're better.
That was just the name of my book, by the way.
Well, in the Sagertown game, I learned more about this team from the last, because we threw an interception that got returned for a touchdown right at the end of the half. Right. I learned more about this team through halftime in that third quarter coming back out than anything else.
Right, because they didn't quit.
No, heck no.
They didn't give up.
That locker room was not heads down. Right. They were up. We're getting this done. Yep. And they come out, and I think we put on a drive that was lasted, 5-6 minutes, and scored and punched.
You've had a lot of long drives this year, which has been great.
It's been awesome.
I think, Luke, and I don't want to put you on the spot, Coach, but I think Titusville found their guy. Very enthusiastic. You're very enthusiastic. Yes. You say the things to me that if I had a son living in Titusville, I'd be honored to have you coach him, because you care about the kid. Yes. You're not just worrying about the end product of winning a game. No. You care about the kid, and that's why I think you're going to be successful. Because Luke and I have talked about this, and I noticed from being an educator for many years, kids know phonies.
Oh, yes.
They spot them right away.
Oh, yes.
And they might not come up and say you're a phony, but they know it, and they'll kind of go through the motions just to get what they need.
Absolutely.
But if you care about them, they'll go through that wall for you.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think they have this in Titusville here.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I just told a parent earlier, I love every single one of these kids just like they were my own. Yeah. And I treat them like they're my own too. But after every game, everything, I tell them I love them. And I'm an emotional guy, but
nothing wrong with that.
There's no, absolutely not. I'm passionate. I'm emotional. I love the game of football, and I teach that. And they can feed off that. They absolutely feed off that.
To be successful, you have to have passion.
Sure.
No matter what you do in life, you have to have a passion for it.
Yep.
Else you're not going to be successful, and you have that passion in coaching. The kids see that, and that's why Titusville, I think, is on their way. Down the road you might get a championship, but you're bringing back the culture, and you're making these kids competitive all the time.
Absolutely.
And I think next year when teams get their schedule, I think probably when they got their schedule this year, because everybody said that's a win. And coaches do that.
Oh, yeah.
I know that
Yeah.
for a fact. Let's go to that. We got that win. And now they're not saying that. Now they're going to say, that's going to be a tough one again.
Well, I hope so.
And that's what you want. You want to bring respect back.
Absolutely. And that's the respect is huge. I preach that all the time to the kids too. And it's not just what you do on the field, it's how you conduct yourself on the field too.
Yeah.
And and I want to get the farthest away from any kind of, negative stuff on the field. So that's what we're working towards. And that's what we're doing.
It's got to be exciting. Luke and I did a show up here a few years ago. It's got to be exciting for you and your players that Luke streams these games, and relatives the players can see them.
You shouldn't bring that up.
No?
No, I'm just joking.
I was going to say, and relatives from different areas can watch their nephews play and so forth. That's pretty cool.
I love it.
For a small high school,
we appreciate so much the support through the community, through what Luke's doing, through the stream, through everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, when everybody is on the same page and working for the same goal, it's a beautiful thing.
There was a moment this season during that Sagertown game. It was really magical, and you could just tell that it was going to be special. Bill McCrillis, who does wireless mic for us, is sitting down there talking to us, right?
Right.
And Coach is right next to him. And it's a great moment. Adam has it where Coach hears what he's saying, just turns, and they have this little back and forth. And it was just
unscripted. That's pretty cool.
It was great.
It is. It's good.
It's like, this is going to be quite a ride. Looking forward to it.
Yep, me too.
Well, Coach, you're doing a great job here.
Thank you.
Thanks for a few minutes. We're going to talk to a couple of your players.
Sure, yes.
All right, we'll be back.
And here we go. Kick's going to go down the left side. It's going to hit at the 10. It's going to be picked up over by the 5. That's a good kick. Jackson coming up the left side, breaks up the middle, goes to the outside. He's across the 40. It's got to get a block. Brings it up across the left side. He's at the 40, 35, 30, 25. He's being chased. He's not going to be caught. 95 yards. Is that Landon Palma?
They're grabbing old Mole by the neck.
Yeah. Oh, Landon Palma with a 95-yard kick return. That's a big touchdown for Titusville. Doubles to the right, single to the left. Ruot wants to throw. He's going to go to the outside. Parker Harvey's there. Nice. 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Wow, that's nice.
And welcome back to Mike's Show, Sports Close-Up. Joining us, we have a couple of the players from the Titusville Rockets, Landon Palma, Parker Harvey joining us. Hey, guys. Welcome to Mike's Show, Sports Close-Up on Armstrong. I'll start with you guys. Landon, what positions do you play?
I'm a wide receiver and a corner. I'm a running back and a safety.
You guys have been having fun this year.
Yeah, quite a bit of fun.
Yeah.
What's been the difference? I mean, unless you guys didn't win a game. And so first, let me ask you this first. I went ahead of myself. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
You didn't win a game. You had the winter, which is always nice in northwestern Pennsylvania, as we know. You get snowed up to your neck. Then spring comes in. Did you guys ever have a doubt? You said maybe I'm not going to play next year.
No. I knew I was going to play. For sure.
So what's changed?
The coach. The coaching has been a big difference this year. We have O'Toole back, who was my coach freshman year for safeties, and he's just awesome on the field, off the field. You can talk to him whenever. Mm-hmm. It's just awesome having him back. And Coach Baldwin, he's organized. That's a big deal. And
yeah, he's organized. That's a good thing.
Coach Baldwin's very good at making his own plays in game, so we can see what their defense is doing and beat them.
I have to say, just watching you guys last year to this year, you guys have grown personally and talent-wise. And I'll never forget, and none of us will, we still talk about it, that Mercyhurst prep game last year. You got hammered, and you popped right back up. I mean, it was incredible. Parker, with you, you've gone from, performing well to really excelling this year. For you guys, what sort of preparation did you put into this season?
Last year was all about mediocre, and this year the new coaches and everything, it's just changed our attitudes. And honestly, last year was not taken nearly as seriously as it should have been. This year I've come to practice. I've gotten better each and every practice, and I strongly believe that I have gotten better, and I proved myself in games that I have.
You have.
What's motivated you this year to get better all the time?
That I was just mediocre last year, and I had the talent to be better.
So did someone say something to you? Is it just you reflected and said, I can be better than what I was?
It was just me reflecting.
Yeah. Landon, what about you?
Yeah, it's just last year being a sophomore and getting put into a varsity position was a lot different, and I wasn't like physically or mentally prepared really. And this year I changed that because I knew I was going to be out on the varsity field, and so I was in the weight room most of the time and getting ready for a Friday night game.
You guys also maybe had we didn't win a game last year. We know those teams are taking us lightly, and we're going to show them this year that we can play ball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When you're a running back, you've had a pretty good season so far this year. Good vision. When you're running, do you see the hole in the cut? Where you see a hole? Because the hole in practice they say run through the 6 hole or the 4 hole. But the games aren't really right where they're supposed to be. You got to read your blocks.
Right.
So when you get that handoff, you get your head up looking where you want to go and cut, and maybe it's a different place.
Yeah, always. Yeah, the hole's never going to be in the same place, and sometimes it's not there, and you just have to, hammer it. You just got to make your own hole, pretty much. Sometimes is what I've been taught to do.
What do you do with the football when you're running through the line?
You tuck it.
What do you do with the points? You have the points. You have the ball up here, and you protect the points when you're running. Yeah.
Yep.
You have guys have drills to make sure you're not going to fumble. Do you guys do drills?
Oh yeah. And when we do fumble, we have bad consequences.
Yeah, that's right. You don't want to create a turnover. Now you also said you play safety.
Yep.
All right. So you get scouting reports. I know your defense coordinator probably gives you scouting reports of what their offense is going to do. Right. As a safety, say Mercer's prep, who throws the ball a little bit, and they got some good backs. On run plays, is your job to come up and fill up an alley? What's your job on that?
That's exactly what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, and hit that running back as he's going in. What about when they're going back to pass? Are you looking at the quarterback?
I drop back.
Read the quarterback and trying to read his eyes, or are you fading one way or another?
We read the tackles, and if they down block, then we know it's a run. If they just stand straight up, we know it's a pass, and we have our deep coverages, and we just go back to our coverages.
So you get how many guys in secondary? 4 or 3?
We have
4.
Yeah.
2 corners and 2 safeties. So do you guys play zone a lot?
Yeah.
So you each have an area.
Right.
You guys ever blitz your safeties?
Yes, we do.
Do you blitz once in a while?
I have, yes.
Now how exciting is that, right? When
that
they call
awesome.
that, you're coming out saying, "I liking this," right?
Yeah.
Getting any sacks yet this year on that?
No, I didn't. Actually.
Not yet. You have a pick though.
Yeah, I do have 1 pick.
When was that?
That was the first game against Sagertown.
And you want to explain that to us? How'd that come about?
He underthrew his man, and I was standing right there. I just jumped up, caught it, and ran.
Great feeling, isn't it, when you did,
yeah.
and you returned it all the way?
Yep.
Wow, you had a pick 6.
Yep.
Awesome. Landon, defense you play.
Corner.
A little difference between corner and the safety, because
Yeah.
corner can make a lot more tackles on runs.
Yeah.
But when you play an option team or a veer team, do you have the pitch man or do you have the quarterback?
I have the pitch man.
Okay. Who has the quarterback? The end linebacker?
Yeah.
Do you like going against a team that runs a veer or the option?
It's very nice because if they mess up, it's an easy scoop and score. Or
What about? But
Landon's a very quick kid too.
yeah, but it's just a lot of responsibility on you if it's a real good back though, because when they catch that pitch and you're coming, they might try to juke you and go
I
inside.
just gotta do what I'm taught to do, push them back inside for a linebacker to
Yeah.
take 'em.
Yeah, you're a pretty good tackler then. You like tackling? What do you like better, offense or defense?
Offense.
Yeah. Now, does Titusville throw the ball?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so you get some passes your way. You guys, do you have a halfback option in?
No.
No, okay. It wouldn't be, you probably could throw it if they put it in, huh? Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe Luke would talk to
Well,
Coach
you guys,
later.
yeah, there you go. You guys have done really well this year, and I mean, it's time of possession. I mean, there's been 8.5-minute drives from you guys. Yeah, I mean, it's been wonderful to see.
That's the best defense. When the other team doesn't have the ball and you guys are just moving that ball and moving the chains,
Slowly, yeah.
oh, that's the greatest thing because defense isn't on the field. They can't score.
Right.
On games like that, do you feel it afterwards? Because
Yeah.
you're carrying the ball a lot.
Yeah, I cramp up a lot after the games, I'll tell you that.
Do you like getting the ball a lot?
I love
Do you
getting
get
the ball.
stronger running as you get more carries?
Yes, I feel like the more carries I get, the more yards I get, the unless I feel any of the pains and any of the, exhaustion.
So do you do like the feed me sign to the coach?
Yeah.
Feed me the ball, coach.
Yeah. I
It's
don't have
also-
to. He just knows to.
He just knows to give it to you.
It's also been fun. Boaz LaRoque, who is the quarterback, just became the quarterback, beginning of the summer, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Never been quarterback before. But it's been fun watching him week after week improve in that position as well,
Right,
which I'm sure you guys are benefiting from that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's
He's
yeah.
finally starting to get into reading his keys on defense, like between the 1 hat high and 2 hat high, knowing where to pass the ball.
Both of you guys are seniors?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior. You're a senior.
Yep.
What's your plans
I plan on going to college.
for anything yet? If you
well-
don't know, that's fine.
Early elementary education.
Nice.
Yeah. I like little kids.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
And
I've always been
coach
good with-
maybe someday?
Yeah. Hopefully I get to go out there and coach my own kid and just other kids.
Your own, you mean down the road your own
Oh,
kid?
yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
maybe
down the road.
I thought maybe
Down the
you're
road.
breaking news here or something.
What's it
Mom
like-
and Daddy doesn't have a kid
Yeah,
yet.
no. What's it like for you guys to step out on this field?
It's exciting.
It's awesome. Man, I love this. I love playing here. It's definitely my favorite field to play at.
Yeah.
And that's interesting you said that because it's different. You got the wall. So you're a whiteout, so you're not gonna really want to dive at the front of the end
Well-
zone into that wall.
I remember.
But what do you like
last
about
year
Carter
play,
Field? The history
got
of it?
nailed.
It's been here forever,
Yeah.
and it's regular grass. You guys want turf?
No.
No?
I love
I
that.
don't know.
The running backs will give me some turf. I can understand that. A little quicker on turf, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, what do you like about playing here? Seriously, I mean,
Well, I mean, playing here, it's just the home crowd is amazing. I mean, even last year, after we've been, we weren't very successful at all.
Wow.
We had a huge amount of people just still coming and supporting us. It's just awesome.
You guys have a real good community then, don't you?
Yes.
I mean, they
Absolutely.
Friday night they're here,
Yeah, they
Oh, yeah.
support us.
and
Well,
It's the nachos, Mike.
it's the nachos.
Yeah.
It's got to be cool here. One of the few teams that has stands in the end zone.
Yeah, it is. That is another thing.
That
It's
is pretty awesome, right?
Yeah.
And not only are the stands in the end zone, they're on the top of the field,
Right.
yeah.
and you can't move them. So they're going to stay on top of the field. And then when you kick your extra points, they go into the stands,
Yeah.
which is
Probably
pretty
one of the
interesting.
greatest games of the season is the homecoming game.
What-
Except maybe it's a distraction for you guys, but for the community.
When is that one? Do you
Friday.
remember? Oh, okay, so
Against
it'll be
Slippery
after.
Rock,
So
yeah.
yeah.
But what's that like to have that kind of environment? Because you've got the parade coming in, you've got people with twirling batons with fire on the end zone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really a big thing
You
here.
got some alumni coming in.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's insane. It's just, I mean, it just, boom, it hits you. There's like Titusville history and everything. It's just like, it's awesome.
It's so fun.
It's cool. I like it. I don't know about anyone else, but I love just seeing everyone. And there's a lot of people that come
Yeah.
on homecoming.
Are you going to pay special attention this year since it'll be your last homecoming?
Oh
yeah. That's a good point. And you know what's great about playing high school ball, guys, is the friendships you make with your teammates. And then like 10 years from now or 15 years from now, no matter where you are, you might come back for a reunion or something and say, hey, remember we did that game against this team? And stories get a little better and a little longer, but but that's okay. And I played on this field back in 2018, and I think high school football is just a unique sport.
Yeah.
And it's just something about high school football that it's really interesting. No matter if you're a starter or the second team, if you're part of a team, and you pull for each other, right? And that's the greatest thing. So Luke's right. Senior night. It's going to be at the end of the year, a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
That's when it hits you that you're graduating. When you come out with your parents and they talk about all this, and when the PA guy's saying stuff about you, you're not even hearing it because you're just saying, this is my last time at Carter Field as a player.
Yeah.
9th grade, you're a senior. How fast did that go?
Pretty freaking fast. I can remember it just like yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy to think it's already here. I mean, I remember thinking I can't wait to be out of here, and now I'm here playing football for the last year ever in Titusville.
What's it like? And it's fun to talk that senior night when the game's over and the seniors lock arms and they walk the field to the wall. That's pretty special, isn't it?
That is, yeah. Especially for those guys. It is going to be just, I don't know, heartbreaking just to see this all come to an end.
And you have another year, so it's not,
Yeah.
but you'll still, some of your friends will be gone.
Yeah.
That you build a relationship with, like the young man right next to you, right? I mean, you guys are probably friends, and you're off. And you said you want to go to college. Any idea where?
Oh, yeah, I got a lot of places I'd like to go. I'm looking at Temple. I've been looking at Clarion, Gannon.
Wait a minute. You're looking at Temple. You must be a pretty good student. You're a pretty good student, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I put my head
Well,
to it.
if you go into Temple, you're gonna be a good student. Because Temple's I mean, I know what you're going for, but academically, that's a very good institution, Temple University. And Gannon's good. Clarion, my youngest daughter went to Clarion. She became an elementary teacher.
Oh, yeah.
She's down in Florida now. Just to let you know, if you like the warm climate, she loves it down there. Her husband and my 2 grandkids. Yeah, but she loves it. She played volleyball for Clarion. Would you like to play football down the road?
I would, yes. I would definitely like to play football.
If you go to
down
Gannon or Clarion, you'll be in the biggest Division II region in the country. The PSAC's the biggest conference for D2 sports. All of them. It's a good conference. So yeah, Clarion's a nice place. They have the Autumn Leaf Festival down there I really like. Any other schools?
Millersville, I looked down. That was down towards Philly.
Great baseball program down there.
And Edinburgh, I looked for a little bit.
Okay, so you're not sure yet.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I got some picked out, but I'm not 100%
Take any
on
visits
them.
yet?
No, I haven't. I
You don't have time right now with
don't have
football,
any
right?
time with football and school and everything.
Any other sport besides football?
Wrestling.
Oh, you wrestle too.
Yeah, and wrestling honestly has been my biggest sport too.
Wow.
That's why I was thinking about going to Edinburgh, but now I'm thinking more towards.
And they're
Clarion
getting a
or-
brand new coach now, Edinburgh. I see they got
Yeah.
it. Yeah, left. Clarion's got a nice program. Wrestling. Do you wrestle or what else do you do?
I just do track.
Track.
Yeah.
Track's really tough too.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing about wrestling though, and I'll give you credit. You're out there against your opponent. It's just you and him.
Right.
I mean, if you mess up, everybody can see it, and if you do something good, what do you like about wrestling?
That's the best part about it.
Yeah.
It's all on you.
Yeah.
If you mess up, you can only screw yourself.
You're going to be very successful in life because you figured out already that if you take care of yourself, other things will happen for you.
Thanks, sir.
That's a good thing. It really is. So, Landon, you got pick up that from this young man right next to you, you know, as he leaves Titusville down the road. And you know what? Unfortunately, this season is going to end quickly for you, and you're going to graduate before you know it. You know, your senior year flies by. Because I can remember walking out here, coaching against Titusville in 1978. That's how old I am. They used to have both benches on the same side. You know that?
wow.
Oh, yeah, and there was almost brawls between Meadville and Titusville because both benches. And
No.
Bucky Crabb coached there, and Larry McNulty was the head coach for Meadville, and I was one of the assistants. And we used to be up top on that thing, have to walk down the steps. And Titusville fans were real nice to us being from Meadville, you know. They'd be like calling us every name in a book, but it was interesting. That was in the late 70s, and pulling up here was interesting. And then they come to Benderfield the next year, which was historic. It's too bad, Luke, that those have disappeared. It is too bad that they didn't keep the Northwest Conference because it was Warren, Oil City, Franklin, Titusville, Meadville, Greenville, and there was every school had a great coach, and it was just great games.
And we still hear about it every time
Yeah.
we walk into a press box.
Right.
Hey, remember that game? It was 79.
Yeah,
when,
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great games. But anyway, you know, the community I know is proud of you guys for winning some games, and I'm sure you're going to win a few more as the season goes on. But more important than that, you guys are winners in life. You know, and it's got to be exciting for both of you. Tell me about this. This young man next to me here streams your game. So if you have relatives living somewhere that can't get to a Titusville game, they can watch that. Have you had that experience yet?
Yeah, I have. I have a lot of family. My father's family is down in Arizona, and they love to hear about me. And well, that's how they do it.
Isn't that
Listen,
cool?
I walked into work when his dad is watching the games, picking everything apart. Like, why did he do that?
But isn't that cool, though? What about you, Landon?
I go home, wait for it to come up on
Yeah.
YouTube, and I listen
Yeah.
to what they say about me when I do something good.
He likes
or
the
something
slow motion
bad.
catches that he makes.
And do you have any family anywhere that relatives or anything that can catch
I
the
have
game?
Relatives down in Florida who
And
like to sit there and
that's
watch.
got to be great, and that's a great thing that you provided for this community, Luke. It really is. So, anything you want to ask these guys?
I wish you could go back to that Corey game.
Yeah, I wish I could go back to the Northeast game.
Yeah.
all the way back.
So you guys should have a couple more W's. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we'll definitely have a couple more W's.
But I mean, you could have had them, Corey, Northeast,
yeah.
couple.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's just all about momentum and the way game starts out
Yeah.
It is.
and the way you play. And Everything is good.
But you know what? You still have a few more weeks to go, so
Yeah.
Yep.
take
We
that
gotta
into those
focus on
games.
them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for giving us a few minutes.
Thank you.
All right. For Luke Ruot, this is Mike Fiorello saying you've been watching Sports Close-Up on Armstrong.